upgrade. So, and I'm being a little sarcastic now, but we got two players that I've had played with coach. One is Zach, who's one of my players at Marble High School, and Cedric has camp all through the years. And the two local guys that have come through Central Mass, and just to go to see that it doesn't matter, you don't have to come from Chicago, New York, California. You have great players right here that do all the same stuff you guys are doing in the camp. So they're going to talk a little bit about their history, what they've gone through. I'll just give a brief synopsis because Zach doesn't want to do the whole history without nothing to talk about it. So I'll be extremely brief. But Zach is a graduate of Notre Dame. It's one of the top academic institutions in the country, and one of the top basketball. They made it to the Elite 8 2 years in a row. He's currently playing. He just worked out with Miami Heat in Summer League this year, Los Angeles Lakers the year before. And he's playing. He finally listened to me, signed with Greece, took him 3 years to get him on board. I didn't play at that level in Greece, but he signed with a team called Panathinaikos, which is one of the top teams in Europe. So he's heading out there next week on the 15th. Cedric. Cedric's one of the top players who played out of Worcester. Worcester North High School. He went on, prepped at St. Andrews, and he went on to play at Brown University, which is in Rhode Island. It's an Ivy League school. He's actually the all-time leading scorer, the all-time leader in block shots in the entire Ivy League. In the history of the Ivy League, he's the leader in block shots. He's gone this is his second year playing overseas. Last year he played in Austria, and this year he's going on playing in Denmark. So let's have a great round of applause for both these guys. Questions? Aiden, where are you? Maybe a few autographs just for you. All right, let's give it up again. Hey, nice round of applause.
How you guys doing today?
Good.
How you guys doing?
Good.
How you guys doing?
Good.
Alright, so we're just gonna take turns telling you guys a little bit about ourselves and our story and how we got to where we are today. As Coach said earlier, I'm from Worcester, Massachusetts. I lived there basically my whole life. I went to Worcester North High School. I was there for 3 years, and then I went to prep school after my junior year. We classified in my junior year again at St. Andrews. We actually played St. Mark's all the time. And then I was lucky enough to have the pleasure of attending Brown University, which is an Ivy League school. Going into high school, I had no idea what Ivy League schools were about. I had no idea what an Ivy League school was. And then my senior year, my prep school coach just told me that it'd be a life-changing decision, so I ran with that. And then at Brown, as you guys know, college basketball is tough. How Coach was saying, all the stuff you guys are doing in camp is all the same stuff that we did. I did in high school, I did in college, and I'm still doing today. All the basic fundamentals, all the small stuff is what really matters. At Brown, I had a pretty good career over there. As Coach said, I was leading shot blocker in Ivy League history. Scored 1,000 points. And then last year I played in Austria professionally my first year, and then I'm going to Denmark on Saturday. So that's just a little bit about me. I'm gonna turn it over to Zach, and I'll tell you guys a little bit about myself.
So what's going on, everybody? It's always interesting and fun for me to come out here and talk to you guys. I started off right when you guys were at age 7. It was my first camp with Coach Cedric. I was sitting here. Obviously, I wasn't the best. I wasn't the tallest, the fastest, or the strongest. But I love the game, and I took what I learned here and tried to incorporate it in my game every day to try to get better. I spent how many years? Over the years, I've been with Coach Cedric since I was 7 years old. Still today, I would try to come back to camp. Growing up, usually you hear, you're not gonna be able to make it. You can't do it. Kid from Marble Mass like me, you're not gonna have a chance to go D1. I've heard a lot of stuff like that. You guys are probably gonna end up hearing stuff like that as well growing up. But don't listen to it. If your dream is to play in the NBA, that's your dream. Don't let anybody try to take that from you. So growing up, I try to focus on the camp, looking at the best players in camp and trying to take what they have and incorporate in my game. And every chance I had to challenge the best player in camp, whether it be free throws, one-on-one, hot shot for any game. I try to do that because the only way to be the best player is, to try to be and get better than him. So as I went on, I ended up going to high school at Marble High School with Coach Auguste, where I played my freshman year all the way to my junior year. We ended up winning 3 championships, 3 straight, beating them all the time. Just Worcester, y'all get down. But high school was great. I had to make a decision on my junior year, whether to go to prep school or stay at Marble High School. That was a pretty tough decision because usually going to a new school in New Hampshire where you don't know anybody, you have to start over. It's tough because the easiest way to choose was to stay here, with all my friends and be comfortable. But with the help of Coach Auguste, my friends, my family and the other coaches, I made the decision to go to New Hampshire Prep School, which is in New Hampshire. And I did 2 years there. I did my junior and senior year, which ended up being the best decision for me. One reason why I did it was because I think coming out of high school, I wasn't physically or emotionally ready for college at that moment. So I wanted to get an extra year in to get my academics straight. And I was lucky enough to do 2 years there and played against him. It's funny, I've been playing against you, Marble High, New Hampton, and college. So we've been playing, it's my best friend, we've been playing against each other, competing our whole lives. So I ended up doing 2 years at New Hampton, and I was fortunate enough to rack up a bunch of offers from all over the country, probably like 25 plus. Pretty much every school except for like Duke and Kentucky. But it was tough. There was a lot of options. I ended up getting it down to 4 schools. I had West Virginia, Notre Dame, Florida, and Marquette. For me, trying to decide what college I wanted to go to, but some of you guys might have to do the same decision. Obviously academics is number 1. Obviously my mom kind of instilled that in me because at the end of the day, you can't play basketball forever. You're gonna have to eventually use a degree or use your knowledge because they can't never take that away from you. So academics was probably up there number 1. I wanted to go to a winning program. I wanted to be able to go there and win. I wanted to go and play right away. And I felt like Notre Dame was that place for me, so I ended up choosing Notre Dame. I went there for 4 years. My first year was a bit of a struggle. As basketball players, you guys are going to face adversity. It's going to be tough for you guys, emotionally, mentally. You have to train yourself because, like us, we were good players. We were some of the best in high school. So coming out of high school as the best player and then going into college, in your first year you're not playing as much as you want to. It's tough, and you can really get mentally drained and get in your own head. But you got to fight through. So I ended up fighting through. And I can tell you 20 phone calls with me and him calling each other like, man, this ain't for me. I can't be here. I'm not playing. I should be playing more. But one thing I learned is you can't listen to that. Man. You got to just always be positive. You want to go in there, and if you're not playing, earn your business. Go in there and get in the gym, work as hard as you can, do what you got to do to get those wins. So I ended up playing a little bit at the end of my freshman year. We had some big games. We had a 5-0 team versus Louisville. We made a run into the ACC or Big East tournament. And then my sophomore, junior year, and senior year, the years I started playing a lot more. I ended up starting the end of my sophomore year. Continued on. And I ended up getting a lot better. We ended up winning the championship, the ACC championship, my junior year. And then we had 2 back-to-back Elite 8 runs in the NCAA tournament. But after my college career, I got a Notre Dame degree in television communications. So kind of like sports broadcasting and stuff like that. If I ever wanted to go into that field, I have that in my back pocket. But after college, I got a chance. I was undrafted. I was working the pre-draft stuff. I ended up going undrafted and then signed with the Lakers for a little bit, like Coach mentioned. I did preseason there, training camp, all that stuff, and I was fortunate. But I ended up getting cut, so I went over to Turkey and played in one of the top leagues in Europe in Turkey. And then last year, last summer, I played with Miami, like Coach mentioned as well. And I tried to have a shot at the NBA. And then now I'm in Greece, one of the best teams in Europe. But as you can see, everybody's path to the NBA is going to be different. Some people are going to get drafted. Some people have 5 years where they play overseas and they get in, but that's me. I still haven't made the NBA officially, so my dream, I'm still gonna keep working, whether it takes 1 year, 2 years, or 10 more years, I'm gonna keep trying every year. But my advice for y'all is just to take everything serious. Don't take any of this stuff for granted. What coach is trying to tell you because it's gonna be helpful and it's the fundamentals that's gonna help you build the foundation of your game. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Give him a round of applause. Quickly, 2 great examples, like I said, guys that are guys, and doesn't matter local guys, local girls, we can have great athletes come out of here, and like they both said, don't listen to what other people say. You might not be number one right now, you're not going to be on the 18 right now. That means absolutely nothing right now. It's all about getting better. It's always the kids that work with their game day in and day out. They're always the ones that get better. Same thing in the classroom. You know, if you put in 10 minutes to study for an exam, or you put in a couple hours to study for an exam, it's going to be a big difference. All right, the same thing. So anything you do, whether you're going to be on the piano, you're going to be in basketball, or lacrosse, or anything in academics, it's about putting the time and effort into it. All right, and these two are great examples. And the greatest thing about them, you know what? They got a free education at two of the top academic schools in the country. So that's the thing. Basketball will end at a certain point. For all of us, it does. All right, but they were able to get a free education in some of the top academic schools, and at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. All right, so let's give them a better round of applause. Before we leave, we'll take a quick team picture with everybody, if that's okay with you guys. We'll have everyone here. Afterwards, if we're okay for a couple minutes. They're actually, if you want to stay, we're going to actually play a little bit during lunchtime. Guys are more than welcome to stay in, girls. And then afterwards, the ones that have to leave, we're going to give you a handout. We have our tryouts for our club teams, and that's from third grade all the way up, all the way through. We're one of the biggest club teams. It's almost like travel for some of the young ones, whether it's travel soccer or whatnot, travel basketball. We practice one time a week, and we do 5 tournaments in the spring. We have all different levels, developmental to advanced, travel all around the country. Travis over the next 2 weeks, and you get a handout on that. Look forward to potentially having them with us for that as well. All right, we're going to take a quick team picture over here.